Poland and France are engaging in military exercises coming up soon, planning the nuclear bombing of Russia. And to be a little more specific, I hear St. Petersburg. They are planning on flying over Russia and bombing. Boom, boom, boom. The United Kingdom, with Keir Starmer and his good old friend Ursula, they have spoken about their past plans and why he is still in power and what his position really truly is. And what is that? Well, the United Kingdom, as in political stance, they are planning on possibly trying to invade part of Russia, Kaliningrad. Europe is obsessed with Russia. They are focused on wanting war with Russia. After all, Zelensky was praised in Cyprus a few days ago with 90 billion and was or will be handed some of this money directly in the near future, Mr. Zelensky. A no interest loan that Zelensky does not have to pay back. 90 billion. That's a sweet gift. That 90 billion, I see it coming right out of the European budget. The governments will have to increase contributions from May until maybe first part of August. And this is going to be a transfer to Brussels from all of these governments in the EU and the UK. This will not go over well in certain countries, say, for example, Hungary. I don't think the Hungarian government is really going to like that too much. Oh, but we have backdoor agreements. And Germany will be connected to transferring the monies, and this is going to be illegal. And perhaps this is when we will really start to see Germany break off with the EU once they get screwed over. But that's a different video for a different time. I keep seeing the word illegal in capital letters for all of this. And don't forget, the Russian central bank will not pay back this loan because the EU courts are already dealing with an open case involving Russia. Nobody's talking about it. The transfer of money will go directly to Zelensky. Maybe less than half of the money, for example, say 40,000, maybe not the 90, but I'm sorry. Did I say 1,000? Oh, I really screwed up there. Billion. He may get, say, 40 billion. The money will come out of the EU and the UK budgets, if that's not enough to piss you off already. And it will start with Germany. Germany's money. Germany's funds. Allegedly. And the money, well, at least some of it, will go on weapon contracts. A subsidy for Mr. Merz himself. I see Germany handing Zelensky at least half, or a little less than half, of the 90 billion straight out of their budget. Well, it's not going to him directly first. It's going to bypass a few places and then go to him. We'll get into that. All EU countries are fucked, meaning obligated to contribute and hand it all over to Ursula so she can send it through Brussels. So Germany pays half, 40 billion, while the other countries have to come up with what's left. There's your illegal. Listen to this. Germany will come up with maybe less than half of that 90 billion. Somebody else has to make up the difference. And it has to be the other EU countries, including the UK. I'm sorry. Now, some countries will be willing to pay the contribution. while others could be problematic. Again, like I said, Hungary or even Spain may not want to pay a contribution. And if that happens, and it will, I believe it will, there's that word illegal again. And there will be indirect transfers without approval. Say 5 or 6 EU countries say we don't have it. It'll be pulled out without approval from their funds indirectly. At least 2 billion or so, be expecting that. Everything will go directly to Ursula by passing certain parliaments. Once this is completed, Zelensky gets his share. So again, it goes through Brussels to Ursula and to Zelensky, his portion. This is what Ursula has been working on. I'm also getting that the EU at some point will start setting up their tax systems. This is very important. I was shown this. This is the reason they were all celebrating in Cyprus. Oh, of course, because they were getting things passed with that 90 bill, but they're also a little bit closer to tax systems, to their own tax systems. And didn't we talk about that last year in one of my videos? So again, everyone, I see a transfer from the EU governments bypassing the parliaments, if I said that correctly, and then directly to Brussels and to Ursula's snaky hands, and then Zelensky. And as I mentioned, I do see EU taxation coming. Now, that is a prediction. Sooner than later. I also see the EU trying to push to get Ukraine into the European Union. Now, at this point, the adversaries see Zelensky as a huge dilemma. I will say that. Whether it be the CIA or the KBG, this is clear. And it was clear in the layouts and in my past readings. I do see slow bureaucratic expansion, but with a heavy price. So they can't just put the country of Ukraine right into the European Union as quick as they want to. And if they did, if by chance this happened, because it could happen, there's a heavy price to pay. There's also a heavy price to pay if they go and they bomb Russia. So I'm speaking on things that are noted. There's 2 different timelines. I don't believe they're going to actually prepare to attack Russia this week or next week, but it is for a future event. Maybe several years down the line, even next year. I don't have a timeline. But for now, I see the EU as more of a backer of the proxies. EU is escalating tension, this is true, but can't rush into full war. That is use proxies. We've been seeing this. Russia would hit back hard, but neither side would actually win at 100% successful rate. Maybe Russia has a better grip, but still, neither side would win. It would be continuous, and it would not go well in Europe's favor. I'm being honest. All of Europe, especially the West portions. So again, this is all on one timeline. The second timeline, as I said, shows preparing now. So everything we're seeing now doesn't mean it's going to happen within a few weeks. It's more about preparing for out in the future. I do see a stall between Russia and Ukraine around the end, maybe November, December of 2026 into 2027. I do see a stall on both sides due to supplies, due to military. It's only temporary. It is only temporary. In the meantime, there's going to be another front of confrontation that's going to take place with Taiwan, possibly Japan and China. Not a full-out war, but there's going to be aggression around July of 2026 is what I'm being shown, but I will make a separate video in that because I kept telling you all I was seeing 692. I had no idea that was part of the Marshall Islands, nor did I know there was a military base there. So there's things I'm looking at out in the sea. There could be escalation out in the waters between maybe China and some other countries, as I mentioned. But we'll get into that further. If you are new to my channel, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'd love to see the channel grow and prosper just a little bit more. I'm not expecting a huge outcome here, but just maybe get up to 20,000 in the next 2 years is my goal. So please subscribe, hit the like button, hype the video if you're able. And by the way, if you don't see the hype feature, you're only allowed 3 hypes per week. So keep that in mind. And subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have any questions. And thank you all for watching.